On this James the Bike Guy, we're taking a look at a 2021 Trek Domane AL2. This is a pretty neat entry-level road bike from Trek, and it's something I'm pretty excited about because for 2021 they've made some updates to the look and the integration of this AL2, and I think this thing is a stunner for a beginner road bike. So we're going to go into some of the features and designs of this 2021 Trek Domane AL2, as well as we'll go ahead and find out exactly what it weighs. But before we get started, please consider subscribing if you enjoy this content, as well as let me know your thoughts in the comments section throughout the video. So getting into this 2021 Domane, we should talk a little bit about the Domane series. So it's been around for quite some time, and it's what Trek calls their endurance road bike. So this bike is designed with a bit more upright geometry. It's going to have a little bit shorter reach than a performance bike, and it's going to have some additional tire clearance even in this rim brake version to make the bike a good option if you're getting into riding and you need a very capable road bike. The other neat thing about the Domane series is even though it's a bit more upright and comfortable than some of the more performance-y bikes, what I really like is the bike doesn't end up feeling dead or feeling like it's not very fun to ride. The Domane series does great work with the head tube and seat tube angles, as well as the chainstay length, to make the bike feel super lively when you're out on the road, but still dampen vibrations, still keep you in a nice comfortable position. And part of that is done by, through this integrated headset 1.1" front end, you've got an OCLV carbon fiber fork. And this fork is going to have a bit of a recurve to it, so when you hit bumps, it's going to be able to absorb some of that. And both carbon in the front end makes it a little lighter, but it's also going to make it smoother. And in the back end of this Alpha Series aluminum frame, you'll notice that it's got neat things like integrated fender mounts. It's got the ability to run a rack on the back. So if you needed this to be a commuter bike where you've got a bit longer ride and you want to be able to carry some gear with you, you can absolutely do that. To keep things sleek and integrated, they've got a non-drive side mounted external cable routing. And this is a pretty neat way of integrating the cable routing without making it go internal and adding a little bit of service cost, but still allowing the bike to look sleek and beautiful. And of course, your brake line for the rear comes in under the top tube and out the non-drive side. And you'll see we've got some pretty decent tire clearance. And in fact, factory, the bike is running some 700 by 28C Bontrager R1 tires. And these R1 tires run their hard case flat protection, so it should be reasonably durable, but might be a spot where you could upgrade after you get riding a bit. And part of that comes down to the bike has some pretty nice Bontrager TLR rims. So this is going to be an alloy rim laced up radially up front and then 3 cross in the back. But the TLR means that the wheels themselves are tubeless ready. And so with just a simple tire change, set of valves, and some sealant, you could make this bike have tubeless tires and get a huge bump in performance just off of one mod. For a drivetrain, the bike is running a 2x8 Shimano Claris drivetrain. So the Claris setup still gets the integrated STI levers, where your inside button goes to harder gear and your outside button goes to an easier gear on the rear. And in the back, you'll see this Shimano Claris rear derailleur running on a CS HG31 8-speed cassette with a super wide 11 to 32 tooth range. You can go forward on the Shimano chain to a Shimano crankset. This is an RS200 with a 50-34 chainring combination and a 5x110 bolt pattern, which means super easy to find replacement parts. So as you put the miles on the machine, you can keep it rolling. And another thing I like in the back end of this bike is going to be the mount for the integrated Bontrager DuoTrap. This will allow you to put a sensor in the chainstay of the bike to pick up wheel speed and pedaling speed that you can connect to your phone, Garmin, what have you, without having to have zip ties on the bike to get that speed and cadence. And in fact, part of that integration is going to be in this blender stem. So the stem, pretty slick looking, but you'll notice this GoPro standard mount on the top. That's because Bontrager does something called blender, which allows a mount to be added to the center of the stem. And from here, you can add things like your cell phone mount, you can add a light to it, a GoPro, pretty much anything, because that standardized GoPro mount allows all sorts of connections. Of course, in the front end, you've got a Bontrager comp handlebar. This is going to be a short and shallow reach, some pretty nice feeling bar tape to it. And then you'll have the Bontrager Verse saddle on the back end of the bike, mounted up with a 27.2 aluminum seat post. So now that we've gone over some of the features and designs of this 2021 Trek Domane AL2, let's go ahead and find out what this bike weighs. The actual weight of this Trek Domane AL2 comes in and weighs 21.16 pounds. Well, thanks for watching this video on the 2021 Trek Domane AL2. It's a pretty slick bike for a beginner road rider that's going to have the capability to do some super long rides, keep you comfortable, and be a platform to really get you into the sport. So let me know your thoughts down in the comment sections. While you're at it, be sure you hit that subscribe button, and don't forget to leave me a thumbs up. It lets me know that you enjoyed the video.